in the bottom right here in the red for Premi Sports. And give it up for Han Mano. In the upper left in the purple for Upev, Unidas por el Vecchio, Tavo. Why, hello there, Alex Zanbino. I have not talked to you in, what, 5 years now? Of course, shout out to him. He and I were on ASU esports stuff together back when I ran the StarCraft team for that. Look at this, though, because we got the Ryung build, kind of, except this is a TVT, not a TVZ. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one works out, but it is Crouching Tiger, Hidden 2 racks. And by the way, Tavo, he is not yet scouted. He's doing that Terran thing where they says, I'm going for a Reaper play. I don't have to scout. Well, you kind of do here, bud. These Marines and SCV are going to show up right as the Reaper leaves the main base. Actually, they're going to get all the way in. Notice they're sitting on top of the supply depot, but actually, no, not anymore. Interestingly enough, I would think he would want to sit on that so things can't get out, but this gives them micro ability. One SCV goes down immediately. We're going to see the SCVs move up on the high ground. We're going to just have to see how much damage Hanmano can get done, because eventually, you know, the barracks, or excuse me, the factory will be done, which means these Marines, the light units that they are, they will struggle. But okay, now the Marines, they're going to rally on forward. And Tavo just lets them in, because why the hell not, I guess. I don't really know. But the SCVs, again, they're going to get pulled on down here. One Marine will die, but the SCVs, those are the real prize. And okay, now it's going to be up once again, but the bunker is going to be delayed. And sure, Tavo can technically lose this supply depot because it does not matter. He's not going to be supply blocked for a dog's age. It does buy time because now the bunker is complete. We're going to see more and more Marines rallying up, running past the bunker. They probably could have gotten some really nice volley damage on the Hellion, but even still, this feels like it may have been enough. Hellion number 1 is on the way. Yeah, no, it absolutely is. Hamano, he's up 21 workers to 9. And he still has the bunker, which does half damage to this Hellion as it looks to run across the map, where it will meet a rather sad fate. There's another Hellion on the high ground. Alaros, I don't believe I can do optional subtitles. I don't believe that's something that is something that Twitch does. Now, if I wanted, I could maybe find a way to... That's the problem, right? Optional, mandatory subtitles can be annoying. Optional subtitles, not as much. And to my knowledge, I don't think Twitch lets you do that. Oh, hey, I've transcoding today. That's cool. Yeah, so Rushy, what happens there is if players choose to use the game heart mod, WCS game heart mod, or Observer Plus, anything like that, then you get things like income graphs and player faction symbols, things like that. If they opt to not do that, then you don't get to. It doesn't show. It's a function of WCS or WCS game heart rather than it is a function of StarCraft itself, which is a bit of an oversight, you know. But so it goes. We will see the bunker go down now. Meanwhile, Hamano, his natural is done on location. And we're going to have to see what Tavo can get done here with his tank drop. He's got four Marines, he's got a tank, and Medevac will be on the way in a second. So we should see him look to siege up Tavo's base. But here's the thing, folks. First of all, there's nothing in the wall, so there's nothing that the tank can really siege from the low ground position. And B, Curious Minds is not really one of those maps that you want to do that. So actually, Hellion Drop's going to find its way into the main base here. A couple more workers will go down. Marines are there, though, so for the moment, Hellions will be kept out of here. And I guess the one thing that Hamano has to worry about is whether he maybe commits a little bit too hard to the early aggressions. There we go, the boost coming in, but Marines are still there. This is also a really nice scout. It says, okay, you have 2 tanks, you have medevacs out already. I kind of know what you're up to. The Hellions will be get dropped out now. Marine's going to try to get dropped on top of them, but no, they're going to be right on in. But tanks are there. It's a fun little micro battle. Oh, wait, he found he has found an opening. Not quite there just yet. Hellions, they're going to go down. They're going to go up. And Hamno, just by denying this much economy, tavo really wants to run across the map with his. That is his greatest desire. And guess what? Hamno says, I've been biding my time. Time for me to go do this now. Cyclone will lock on, which means, oh, the lineup, though. That's a problem. So many of these workers are going to go down. Yes, Cyclones can do what they want. They're going to kill the medevac pretty quickly. But it doesn't really matter because 8 SCVs remain on the other side of the map. Hanmano, he's got a lot of stuff. He's got a tank here on the low ground. He has Cyclone tank on the high ground. And with a Raven, this pressure's not going to be able to do too much. Drop's finding its way in now. It's 6 Marines and 2 tanks, but you look to seize them up, and one just gets disabled, the other one just gets locked on and killed effectively. SCV's getting pulled because it does not matter how many die. GG. Hanmano takes game 1. Man, I got myself into one bit of what's the word? Muscle memory. Where I place things. So now that they're different, well, it's just very confusing to me. Very, very confusing indeed. Also, I'm sorry that there's no ticker tonight. Liquipedia has changed how they present the back end, the source code for the EPT cups, and I did not know about that, so I'm gonna have to take some time, maybe tomorrow evening, something like that. Once I finish updating my reel from Katowice, I mean, you need to take some time to fix that. It's not a big deal. They've just changed their formatting for the JSON a little bit. I'll see. Oh, they're using it this game, Rushy. They just forgot last game. I don't make the lobbies, so it really is up to whether the players remember it or not. I swear, looking at myself in the camera right now, I look more tired now, like more raccoony now, than I did for any of those IEM days, and those IEM days were far longer, and I felt pretty close to collapse a couple times. But anyways, folks, game 2, Hamano Tavo. In the bottom left, in the red, up 1-0. He is for every sports, Hanmano. His opponent in the upper right, in the purple, down 1, falling to a proxy 2 reacts, because who does that? He is Tavo. I gotta say, folks, the best part about IEM, and I will be riding this high literally until I die, was the fact that I got direct, and I don't believe this happened to anyone else. But yeah, I don't think this happened to anyone else, but I got direct, yeah, exactly, Alaros. How dare they change their code? This has happened to me multiple times where I'm ready to go for a and this is part of the reason, by the way, that I asked ESL to give me access to their match tracking system, their match tracking spreadsheets, because I knew those wouldn't change last second. Alaros, I don't know if you saw, but it was a proxy 2 Rex. Hamano kind of killed his opponent there and then. Ooh, very nice, Alaros. I need to find myself some new boats. Actually, question for you folks, before we get back on to Philip preening about how great a job, bragging about how great a job he did in Katowice. I need some information on, like, finding myself some StarCraft bow ties. Because, you know, There was a lot of positive feedback outside of that one weird person who was trying to tell me that bow ties were like chokers and therefore unmasculine. Weird stuff. A, doesn't matter. B, no, it's not. Bow ties are pretty slick. Anyways, where was I going with that? Yeah, I need a lead on some StarCraft bow ties. I feel like that would be a really rather nice thing to have, you know, for when I cast the next StarCraft. When I cast Katowice or DreamHack or something like that. I don't know. Certainly for the final day. Not everyone does this, but I believe in dressing up fancy. I like wearing a suit. And my job as an engineer, while as a PhD student, really does not give me much of any time for that. And certainly not a suit with a bow tie, which is a little bit less formal than a suit with a tie. Which is unfortunate because otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't own a single tie. Bow ties are awesome. But anyway, so if anyone's got a lead on some StarCraft bow ties, please let me know. Okay, so we got a tank drop coming out here. It is, what's in there? Oh, Cyclone and 4 Marines, actually. So they're going to catch this, at least one of these Reapers. Nice vision there. Reaper will go down. But now Tavo knows exactly what his opponent is up to. The second Reaper, though, actually going to go deny the... Oh, that's very nice. Denying the base for a little bit longer, which means that Tavo, should he survive this, he will have a significant, actually, eco lead. He's already have 6 workers, but the Cyclone and the Marines are here. There's already a tank and a Cyclone. I do not see this getting the type of damage that Hanmano may be looking for, and this is good because Game 1 ended with a 2 racks. Game 2 is going to last just a little bit longer. Hello there, Terra Nuker. Where was I? Yeah, so I will be riding this high until I die because Apollo directly tweeted at me. I believe I was the only talent that he did this for. And he directly tweeted me saying I did a great job for both production and casting, and I will ride that high until I die, and also hope it means that I get some bigger gigs in the future. But for now, folks, we got a push going on. Hanmano moving this tanks in further and further and forward. He's got 1 tank on the rally, and while he couldn't just run in and stim in and make that happen, the Cyclone and the tank were too far forward. Actually, where is the tank? Oh, there it is. Okay. So now we got the tanks pushing on forward, and we're going to have a second tank join up with this in a second, which makes life just a little bit more complicated for the South American Terran. It's Hanmano again. He's got 1 tank. He's got range on the high ground. Second tank, got to be careful because there does come a point where the range is just a little bit too much. With no Viking, or excuse me, with no Ravens, Hanmano cannot just move in and disable. All right, but this is starting to get a little ornery here. Yeah, there we go. The break is happening. Oh, look at that flank from the Raven. He's going to get it. 1 tank will be disabled, though. Second one, not just yet. Only 1 tank sieged up at a time. And this is just not working out here for Tavo at all. A Cyclone is going to get dropped on things. Autoget turret is going to clean up one of these tanks, I think, but 1 tank still does remain. Viking in the sky until it's not. And the mules... We're kind of pulled, but they're not going to do too much here. And there we go. He's going to get on out. Massive damage for Hanmano. But you got to remember, this is still a 1-base play. Tavo, he's still up 3 to 4 workers. And that does mean that he has to get more. Luckily for him, we're having single Marines and single tanks rallied across the map. Yeah, Terra Nuker, I feel that. It's so easy to just do what feels good rather than do what you need to do to get better. The way I try to do it is I just say every time I'm playing StarCraft, I'm focusing on one thing, whether it's creep spread or injects or engages or maybe learning a new build order, whatever it is. But we got Tavo here trying to make a breakout once again. There's a second Raven. Auto turret getting dropped on 2 of these tanks. And actually, one of them will get saved. Auto turrets do freaky types of damage, freaky amounts of damage. But now we get the tank. They're going to try to make something happen. Second Raven goes down, and as annoying as it is for Hanmano that his eco is just a little bit lower, what we have to remember is he has done a lot of tech. Look at resources lost. It is vastly in favor of the red Terran players. He's going to try to get out of here. Vikings. There we go. They will not be able to get what they want to get done. And with the hot pickup, actually, Hanmano, he's got a Viking lead. This is not going to work out at all for Tavo. He's going to try to make something happen, and sure, He gets the medevac, and that is annoying. But it is still 5 Vikings, and with the vision advantage that Hanmano has, well, it's very difficult for tavo to get anything done. Well done. Awesome there, Terranuker. Yeah, as we do have the break again, trying to move forward. Tavo, he looks like he's going to be able to clean this up. Yeah, he will. And Hanmano maybe just getting a little bit too ballsy with his 1-1-1 production. No, Alaros, you don't understand. I think I figured it out. It's not that ties are more my leg necklaces and therefore masculine. No. Ties are straight. And straight is masculine there. There's no there's no fluidity. Whereas bow ties are all twisted around. And they're a bow. Bows are moving in multiple directions. Therefore, they're not straight. Therefore, they're not straight. They got much more wiggle room on the Kinsey scale, which makes them not masculine. I think we understand. Okay, who's got the Viking lead here now? No, actually, because Hanmano did, but he flew through away all his Vikings. And now tavo is looking to get a little bit aggressive on the map. It's 5 Vikings to 3 for just a little bit longer. But of course, we got to remember defender's advantage is a thing. And it does mean that tavo, even if he does have the notional, the de facto, or the de jure, actually, Viking lead, he won't have the de facto Viking lead around Hanmano's base. But actually, I really like tavo's positioning. Even as he's traded more, his eco lead has kind of balanced it out. His 1-1 is going to be done much faster. Stim already done, as we have combat shields on the way. So his army has much more power to it. And it's going to be a little bit difficult for Hanmano to maybe take this natural, at least for the time being. Oh man, my neck is killing me. I slept on the wrong side of it, I guess. So like looking right is just, I got this super deep kink in my neck, I guess. And it's just like, Looking around to the right is a pain. We got a push coming in from the left though, and Vikings are going to take the fight. But of course, tavo, he gets the first fight. He gets the first engagement, which means he absolutely wins the Viking war. And now that means it's going to be much easier for him to push on in. I don't think we're going to see the Vikings look to land on top of this. That's not really going to be a thing, but again, 1-1 is done for tavo. He has stim, he has combat shields. Yes, Hanmano has stim, but no combat shields. As he looks to run on forward, scan gets dropped, but that's a vision lead for tavo, and that is never going to work for Hanmano unless maybe he runs in with everything in overwhelming numbers. So for now, tavo taking advantage of this lead that he has to go take a fourth. Oh yeah. And Terranuker, I'm just going to say, I think I rock them better than Muslim does. That is obviously a very biased perspective here. So nice save there on the Viking, but tavo here just establishing this brutal air control lead. And now that means he can find a way to drop into the main base. But there's just enough bio, and sure, 1-1, combat shield for no combat shield. But actually, there we go. He's going to drop on down. Vikings, though, onto the third base. They're going to eviscerate this tanks, which means that now tavo can wind his way and can find some more value, start shelling away at the mineral line in and of itself. SCVs have to get pulled, and there we go. Third base, it's going to run on over to the other third. The massive eco lead has been dislodged, but now Hanmano looks like he's looking for the break right here, right now. Marines looking to stim on in with 1-1 with combat shields. This is the timing he's been looking for, and these tanks looks like they were finally go down. SCV's getting pulled as well, but so many of these Marines have died. It is a 30 supply lead for tavo now. He's up third at 26, 30 workers. He's up an army as well. Hanmano knows this, and it looks like he realizes that he has to get something done. I don't know how much he will be able to do so, though, because his upgrade's massively behind. He's less army. His tank count is not better. He's got to catch his opponent off guard. Yeah, so ZVZ is the knife fight in the phone booth. GVT is the knife fight in the phone booth, but occasionally someone opens one of the windows and you can see through for just a second, and then it's all closed off. And Tavo, Hamino both realize that their opponent are going for base trade. Actually, though, Tavo, be very careful. Oh, big tank shots. Yeah, this is not going to happen. And Hamino, oh, he's going to get flanked from both sides. Actually, he's got first mover advantage on the tanks, though. Even still, the tanks, they will go down. Tavo now with a 60 plus supply lead. Bio rallying into the main base. Nothing you can do there. Of these 4 or 5 medevacs, only 2 have anything in them. And Hanmano, folks, is kind of dead. Missile turrets in the main base too. Tavo realized he realized that the only way he loses this game is if maybe, just maybe, Hanmano gets the drop of his lifetime into his main, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so now I got the bio stimming in once again, or it will stim in a second. This is going to be a free tank. And 2-2 is done versus the 1-1. Pretty much every advantage Tavo could ever wish for is here. And yeah, we have Hamino with a bit of a base trade, but that bio got cleaned up really quickly. Other bio, well, it's going to find the starports and kill them off, but it does not really matter because there's too much stuff in Hamino's base. GG. I will learn to hit the proper buttons. It's funny that the best part of Katowice being over, by the way, is thank you. Is the fact that I can close like 27,000 tabs. What do we got? 3.20 Cyril. 3 point, most likely playing winner for Jimmy versus BioIce, as I assume BioIce kills Foxer. Clem has his match. He's waiting on the winner of Iger and Eurystheus. Felt bad for Iger. Apparently, when he lost his knockout match at Epic Land, that was the same time where he also lost his GM status. Got kicked out of it. Rangers playing Neuro. For Jimmy's awaiting the winner of Foxer and BioIce. Gumiho and Steph Curry are playing. Chance beat Eric Fire 2-0. Batty Mac playing Trigger in the round of 32. Winner moves on to the round of 16, playing Chance. Ratata is playing Hoopsia. And his opponent in the next round will be the winner of Maple Tree, or Up a Tree and Maple Z. There we go, Maples. Winner of this series plays Keen or Cyan. That's enticing. Classics playing Nax and Rush, and will most likely play Raza, although could be Holden. And then Vindicta awaiting the winner of Little Petite and Gerald. So Vindicta versus Gerald. Oh, okay. Eventually we're going to start getting into it. I'm not sure what a Homana. Not sure what I said. Oh, man. I hate when you sleep wrong and just one side of your body is just really freaking tight all day. It's like great. Lovely. I could do without pain looking one way, you know. Anyways, folks, we have a game. It is, in fact, game 3. It's a big map. Hopefully, for some big plays. Glittering Ashes is coming up. In the upper right, in the red. He took game 1 and fell down in the second for Pepper Esports. Hanmano. In the bottom left, in the purple. Take game number 2 in style and pizzazz. Tavo. Well, I cannot speak to what Alaros may or may not be doing, Terra Nuka, but I can tell you I'm probably going to be doing something like that soon again, because we did not get the NASA grant that I applied for. It is very sad. We wrote this really cool proposal. I think Alaros will agree that it had legs. And then you realize, as we got the double racks here, but this is going to be proxy Reapers, by the way, that NASA designed their challenge with a solution in mind. Sometimes they do this, sometimes they don't. But for this one, 7 of 8 ish, 6 of 8, 7 of 8 were legged designs. Yes, Upper Street Zelda is playing in this, Terra Nuka. I don't think anyone is covering his games, although he may be streaming. But yeah, so we did not get it, unfortunately. I think it's kind of dumb. Normally NASA in this challenge, normally NASA diversifies themselves pretty well. But this time they didn't. They said, we want legged modalities. And honestly, legged modalities for the portions of the moon that they're looking for are really not the best solution. They're looking for extremely freeable terrain with high angles and again, legged robots, I don't think are the solution, but they did. So they funded 6 legged robot projects that were all very similar. As the Reapers here, they're going to find a couple of SCVs immediately. Delaying the factory is actually the biggest of deals, but it was not delayed. Just the SCV sitting near it was killed. All right, so the Reapers are going to move on in, though. They're going to get a free Reaper. Oh, but no. Okay. Ah, the Citizen's Arrest. Very well done by Tavo, but still 3 Reapers are here. SCV, or excuse me, Hellion does pop out. It's going to try to get something, but it now is just forced to shoot and run, shoot and run, shoot and run. Getting very, very low indeed, but the Reapers, of course, they got to be very careful not to get stuck in a corner. Another Reaper will go down, diving on top of the Hellion, but no, not yet. But of course, Hamino is committing to this. More and more Reapers are on the way. And unlike the previous game, he's found a value with his build. He's up a couple workers. He's going to be able to dive on top of things. Once again, another SCV will go down. Of course, 6 is the magic number to one-tap SCVs. That's what you're looking for to maybe get on up to. But for now, even 4 do enough. It does 2-shot. Another SCV will get captured, will get killed. But the Hellions, they're starting to fall. Another one does pop out in the last second. Another Reaper dies. And now all the Reapers of Hamino, shave 1, they're dead. Yeah, if you Google big idea for NASA, you realize that we didn't have a shot. It was I think we had a very well done proposal, and we got very much R2'd. As now, okay, these Reapers should not get too much more now. The Hellion does arrive, and it's 3 Reapers and a Hellion versus 2 Hellions and a Reaper, which over time, of course, does favor the Reapers. They do heal. The Hellions do not, unless you want to repair them. But yeah, no, we got very much R2'd there, Alaros. In that, okay, the Reapers are out and the Hellions are out now, and this is not a fight that Hamino can win, but he can hope to trade as efficiently as possible. As more and more Reapers add themselves, maybe, just maybe, this is going to be enough for the Reapers. The Hellions, they're all dying. Hamino should get this extra Hellion. There it is. It's one big trade. I agree, yeah. About the controls perspective there, Alaros. And then there's dust mitigation. There's significant dust issues, things like that. But no, so I looked at the comments, and comment number 3, which 3 and 4 were just really dumb. One of them was like, well, you could launch it multiple times. Why don't you talk about that? It's like, well, no, we did. We just said that this is a tech demonstration, therefore only once, but it's very easy. We just have to add more gas. Like, what? And then the other one was like, why? I have these issues. It's like, we address those issues in the paper. Rather in depth, actually. You're just looking for a reason to deny us. As we're going to have the Reaper Hellion cycle in the traditional TVT composition. Don't ask me any different. They're going to find their way onto the high ground. And Hamino, he's just going for some stuff. And look at this, by the way. He's going to move one of these barracks into the main, blocking off any sort of easy repair for this the supply depot. And I really like this. He's actually going to start building Marines out of this. Oh, man, Hamino. Cheeky. Okay, now Hamino has a guaranteed access into the main base. He's going to look for a double lock on these Cyclones. Instead, he just locks on a Mule, which that was a full Mule. So still worthwhile in some way, shape, or form. Okay, now tavo, he is supply blocked. He is going to lose all of his tech labs. So one tank will get out, but that should be the end of that. Cyclone's locking on to SCV's best possible option, really, for what tavo's trying to make happen. But even still, it's 2 Cyclones. It's Vikings getting dropped. We're going to see a tank pop out in a second. Ideally, Hamino, for him, just locks on that and kills it. SCV's getting pulled once again, but Viking is just doing terrible things to the purple Terran, and this really should be it. Cyclones are going down, good lock-ons, and yeah, there's a tank out, but you can land on that, you can drop it off, and with 2 SCVs being built at a time, it's not even like Hamino is a one-base Terran that cannot do what he wants to do. Nice scan, that means the Viking goes down, and there we have a GG Hamino. He's moving on. Yeah. And by the way, the extreme terrain that they're looking at is extreme terrain that people, biological setups, biological legs would struggle on them. We're talking like high grade terrain that's super fluffy and freeable. Okay, so what do we got? Any games? Okay, so we got highlights. That's fun. Yeah, it's what were the comments? Because they were, again, kind of dumb. Oh, the other one, like the one that was not just, why don't you have it? Oh yeah. This one is very silly. I'm not sure how you will guarantee the connecting wire stays taut. Also, do not really understand the point of rotating the 2 spheres. The relative velocity is small compared to absolute velocity, anyways. Why such a complex deployment? Which proves they didn't read anything, because first of all, they're spinning. Centripetal force requires that they get taut. That's just how that works. It requires that they stay taut. So we're gonna do Keen Hanmino. By the way. Who is Keen playing for right now? Is Keen technically on the Freaks right now? Okay. Okay. What was I doing? Okay. What was I saying? Yeah. So first and foremost, if you have 2 balls rotating about a center of mass on a string, that will be taut. Okay, that's just centripetal force. Secondarily, relative velocity is just such a dumb it's not close. We look at this, it's like, okay, we've launched this, there's no air resistance. The system would be traveling at 150, 200 meters per second. Something like that. I forget the actual number. And then we bring it down to 32 meters per second, which is a lot less G's to experience. Oh, you mean centrifugal force, right? Anyways, game 1. In the bottom right, in the red, he is taking one TBT already against Tavo. Hanmano. In the upper left, in the blue, for the Guangdong Freaks, he is Keen. And I don't know, maybe we didn't explicitly say, okay, let us prove to you that the line stays taut because it is spinning. But I would think that any engineer understands that something that is in rotation is going to be is going to accelerate away from the center of mass, from the center of rotation. We can do this experiment all the time. Well, actually, that's not quite true. Technically, there is force inside, and it is a linear force outwards that is kind of converted to rotational motion. Technically, there's no centrifugal force, but functionally it is, right? It's going to, much like an orbit. Actually, I guess it's the opposite of an orbit, because the orbit is falling and missing. This is... Anyway. Anyway. Point being. Hey, Meltasaron. Glad you're here. Welcome. Okay. People are dumb. But point being, yeah, centripetal acceleration, centripetal force. Centrifugal force is a fake force. It is not a force that truly exists. It's more of a constant. It's more of a linear rotational momentum thing. Exactly. Yeah. And then the acceleration is always inwards, which is the funny thing. You look at this and it's like, okay, well, the grain's trying to escape from the bucket. I grew up on a farm. I learned about this by spinning a grain bucket above my head. But it's like, oh, the grain's trying to escape the bucket until you stop spinning. That's very clearly a force, and it really isn't. But it's just it is just more of the conservation of momentum than anything else. The only force, quote unquote, is the force applied towards the center, which just seems so weird because it's one of those things in physics that is actually super counterintuitive. But also, these are NASA engineers. I would expect them to be able to handle things. As Hamano, he's going for his shenanigans once again. This time it is 5 Marines, 6 Marines, a Cyclone, and a Reaper looking to put pressure on. Look at this wall we got here. 4 Marines, 2 Hellions, and 2 Reapers. They're going to say, no, no, no. And a Cyclone. This from Hanmano really should not get too much done. Now, the lock-on was actually not on anything useful for both sides, but the scan does get dropped for now. And Hanmano, he will be forced back. He's going to say, oh, snap, you got stuff. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love it. With the line of sight, he's not going to take as much damage as he otherwise would. But still, this was an aggressive opener from Hanmano. Yeah, that is exactly what it is, Alaros. If you're looking at it in the global reference frame, it's not there. Actually, it just is never there, actually. But if you're looking at the global reference frame, it's conservation of momentum. It is, you have angular momentum or linear momentum that is artificially constrained into angular space. Terranuka, see what you did? You got Alaros and I talking about PhD stuff. This is unacceptable. All distractors. The Raven, the presence of the Raven here does mean that this break should be fairly doable, but oh, auto turret forced on the high ground, not on the low ground. Two tanks still shelling away rather nicely. This is not going to work out for Keen just yet, but the one tank is going to do fairly nice, and that should be the end of things. But now it's just a drop onto the tank here. Oh, we got to unsiege immediately. Keen. But okay, it's just going to go barely enough. A trade for a trade. Homino taking the significantly better one, but he's still down 9 workers. Oh, bye-bye Terra Nuker in my chat. Now Terra Nuker just talking to me, or listening to me talk at him. Zerkeen, though, is going to scan the other side of the map and says, hey, Homino, this is a lot of aggression. What do you got here, bud? The answer is just a 1-1-1 for now. The tank sieges on up, and this is actually not going to be all that great. That is a dead tank. Vikings are going to land in exchange, and that's going to be a dead Viking, but hey, Medivacs, so you can pick that one up. It's a similar idea in a slightly different way to this concept of having an orbit, where instead of the bucket, you can talk about it as the bucket falling faster than the grain inside. An orbit is the object's linear velocity just going a little bit too quickly for it to properly turn it to further radius of rotation to start curling inwards. Like you're falling at the ground and you're missing. Which is kind of fun. And then you realize that so many objects in space will eventually, their orbits will eventually degrade, not because of gravity, but because the air, our atmosphere goes so much higher than we think it does. And therefore, the ISS has significant in the orbital sense, significant atmospheric drag trying to pull it back into space. And that's in Leo. The Kármán line is not where the atmosphere ends. No, Terra Nuka, this is your fault. This is your fault. You asked academic questions. And the 2H PhD students just happen to be here. Although, sorry, the mastering out student now, because Alaros is now beneath me. Because I'm following the true calling of academia, and anyone else who does not dedicate their lives to slavery in a lab is, or perpetual servitude in a lab is wrong, apparently. I mean, let's remember here, Terra Nuker. We're all sitting in chat watching StarCraft. That therefore means that we're all kind of a nerd here anyways. I'm just saying. All right, so Amano now is going to try to take this third base. There's a Cyclone here, but that's just about that. And actually, he's got a lot of stuff pulling across the map. He has a Viking lead, just barely. And actually a Viking health lead here, too, of the Vikings that, even of the Vikings here. Nice, disables. Only one tank will siege up for the moment. Oh, we got the orange stuff coating everything, too. This third base is not allowed to do anything. Actually, oh, God, yeah, that's just it. GG, well played, Hamino says. Team takes game 1. Cord Muscles, I am happy now. Thank you. Cord Muscles was in Steadfast chat earlier, and I was very disappointed in him. He's only allowed to be in my chat in the StarCraft genre. And how the question though is how many viewers am I driving away by just nerding out about space and robots in the middle of StarCraft games? Oh well, I didn't get. You mean I didn't target fire those banelings? Instead they. Dang, I guess I'm dead now. Try again next time. I mean, it's okay, Alaros. I took Yeah, there we go. Job making real money. I mean, I took multiple days off my PhD to cast Katowice, so it's probably not the most pure academic motivation either, but yeah, so what? Anyways, folks, we got a game. It is, in fact, game 2. In the upper right, he is in the red. He's down 1. Give it up for Hanmano. In the bottom left, in the blue, up 1 for the Kwangdong Freaks. Keen. Oh, yeah, Alaros. Especially with your kind of controls, robotics, specific. Yeah, no. That is. Let's see. Oh, Hamano is going for the proxy 2 racks idea once again in the base. Everyone is just learning from Ryung, and I love it. Ryung has been getting a lot of credit in the Korean scene as kind of the Korean Lambo, as it were. As this player who just, well, maybe not the most mechanically sound and competitive player. No, sorry, not not the fastest player, not the player that handles competition as well as others. Well, certainly their knowledge of the game, 11 out of 10. Their builds are fantastic. So we've started to see this more and more. Amino doing the in-base proxy marine bunker at the natural just to give a place to return to, and Reapers are going to pop out in a second, but we gotta be a little bit careful. Hey, Corn Muscles, thank you so much for the resub for nerdy stuff, or science talks. There we go. Well, I guess technically this is engineering, not science, so sorry to disappoint. Marines, they're going to start to find some SCVs. In fact, they're getting pulled, trying to get their surround, but there's a bunker for these Marines to retreat back to, and that is what Key does not want to have happen. He is going to kill 1 Marine, but that's a lot of dead SCVs there on the wall, and oh, there we go. The SCV, the red one, will find the last of the Reapers, and now, well, you got to be very, very careful here, but it's only two Marines that do remain. This bunker's doing a great job of walling things off, a great job of making sure that not too much happens, but the Reaper, it goes down. That is not what you want now, Marines. They're going to try to get on top of this, but the rally distance is there. Marines, they cannot quite do anything against a Marine that immediately goes from a barracks to a bunker. And this rush for now looks like it has been dealt with. Hanmano and Keen, same number of workers, but Hanmano actually in exactly the same spot from a tech perspective. I know on YouTube, though, Alaros, people get annoyed when they look at the VODs and they're like, would this caster stop talking about themselves? Just cast the game of StarCraft. It's like, well, okay, so now we got an SCV. He's gonna go mine. Oh my god, look at this mining job that he's doing, getting so many minerals. He's getting 5 minerals out of that mineral patch, and he only has 9 HP. We're gonna have to see whether they ever look to bring that one back, or he's just gonna mine low for the rest of this game. My goodness, this mining opportunity by Keen is absolutely impactful. And look at this. The barracks is gonna take so much damage here from 2 Marines shooting down. Oh my goodness. Well, what a fill. But now we got this Reaper actually in the main base of Hanmano. And one of the downsides of builds like this is you don't have anything at home. Reapers are going to come back now, but they wanted to move on the other side of the map. They wanted to find some value. And by showing this, well, that's already pretty good for Keen. Although this is the follow-up that we saw last game. Again, we see the barracks. I'm not really sure why it was landed. I wasn't really going to get anything out of it, but still. And now we're going to see. Okay, one Marine remains in this bunker, sure. But yeah, Loris, it depends on the type of nerdy stuff. Talking about satellites and robots is not necessarily talking about video games and StarCraft. As now the medevac is going to find its way into the main base here. What is prepared? There's a Cyclone with half health and a couple Marines. We're going to have to see how much damage that Keen does take. For now, Nice hot pickup micro actually on the Hellions, but oh, nope, it's all dead. 3 workers will pay that price. Makeen has a natural on the way. Hamino does not. And in this game, really, we're just seeing Keen. In this series, we're seeing Keen go and get just not as much damage. Did I know that your degree is under the College of Engineering within your university? Yep, that makes sense. Computer science is within the College of Engineering within most universities. The interesting thing, actually, is when you look at honor societies or like engineering societies in general. Because often the CS science requirements are much lower. Yes, they are not an identical place. But now we got Keen looking to push on in here. Nice lock on actually on the medevac immediately. Marines are going to try to drop on top of the tank, but that is a dead medevac to start the Marines. They're taking some fairly nice shots. Notice the tank just target firing down the Cyclone. And there we go. The Cyclones are going to go down. It is going to be tech traded for tech. Who did that favor, actually? Okay, yeah. Favoring Hamino just a little bit. Hey, muchacho. I like your name, by the way. Making sure that there is no way that non-Hispanohablantes cannot pronounce muchacho correctly. The muchacho. Or you just like cows, one of the two. Yeah. Terranuker. I'm sorry. Going Cloaked Banshees is not BM. No build order is BM unless it's the whole I'm going to build multiple bases in your base because you need to get out of this game. But that's not even a build order. That is manor hatcheries or manor CCs, something like that. Frustrating and BM are two different stories. All right, so there we go. Dead Marine. Where do we go from here, Keen? He has Stim just about done on this 1-1-1. And then fairly quick Steam, actually. Oh, wait a minute. He's got to drop. Yeah, there we go. Raven auto turret in the main base. And we'll kill 6 SCVs. Well done, little Mr. Raven. But the Vikings are going to look to move to cut it off. And yeah, they should find this. Oh, wait. Oh, your masters. Okay, corn muscles. There we go. There's the catch. So Hamino is there a fleet? We'll find the Raven. But oh, this is just a little bit of a bait here. There are 6 Vikings to not a lot, which means these Ravens are just going to go down, dropping their auto turrets to try to maybe trade a Viking in exchange. But everyone will trade 1 Viking for 2 Ravens and a Viking. Absolutely. And so much of the anti-tech that Hamino has is now gone. Nothing to really keep him alive against big tank pressure, something like that. Hamino, despite everything, will have first mover's advantage in taking his third base on location. Having this setup is going to be rather nice for him, but look at the tank count. It's 5 tanks to 4. It is 7 Vikings to 3, which means Keen is in a pretty good spot to make sure that he can siege up and push this position in. And because he has this Viking lead, Liberators are going to be on the way immediately. And these Marines, by the way, they do not have stim. So it's going to take that much longer. Nice positioning with this tanks of Hamino, by the way. He was able to kill off 1 tank from Keen before things even happened. And that's just a spot that you don't look to send the Vikings. So there we go. That being said, though, tanks will be forced on siege. And Liberators are going to go there. Tanks on siege on both sides. But again, yeah, these tanks are just not allowed to maintain a siege position. The one Liberator looking to move forward is kind of a problem. And notice Hamino is just not building Vikings. He realizes that he is too far behind, so what does he do instead? He's building Medivac. He's really committing into the bioplay just a little bit more, but we're getting pretty quickly in this position where the tanks will no longer be able to build or to defend this third base. Also, Hamino has forgotten his +1 armor. It is just +1, and the rally, the macro of Keen is proving to be extremely powerful here, setting up significant army supply. Even if he's down in workers, now we're going to see the Liberators look to move on forward, tanks sieging up as well, and all of the stuff in the air is getting knocked on down. These Vikings are too powerful, so Hamno says, hey, to hell with it, time for me to go for a break. But this is bio that has stim, that has combat shields getting on top of things. The Liberator does go down, but that is just not enough. Keen on a razor's edge takes game number 2. Yeah, there are a literal shit ton of degrees in chat right now. I have technically 3. I'm working on a 4th, right? If we include the fact that I passed my quals, which is kind of like a master's, but not really. Otherwise, I have 2 working on my 3rd. Alaros is mastering out, so we'll have a master's. That's 2. Corn Muscles has almost has his 4th. We're just gluttons for punishment, folks. We hate ourselves. Oh, we're still waiting on a Ratata versus Hoopsay, I guess. So this part of the bracket is going to be the slow one tonight. The 3rd reduction is waiting on round of 32 when we already have a player in the quarterfinals. Classic is playing Raza. Yeah, that could be interesting, but I guess they're in game. And Classic refuses to accept my friend request. I'm on his team. We carry the same tag. Come on, Classic. Gerald 2-0 Vindicta. So it will be Gerald versus Classic most likely in that quarterfinals, and that seems very exciting. Change to playing Trigger. Gumio waiting the winner of that one. Jumi is playing Bio Ice, and they are in... just barely missed it. Damn it. And Clem is playing Ranger, and they are in game. So not a lot, folks. Not a lot that we can do. Yeah, I think with that one, Alaros is one of those things where if I was to do that, it would be one of those things where I would only be doing that if I left, because Dartmouth wouldn't want me to. I think they would just want me to get the highest degree. All I'm going to say, though, is when I finish this PhD, you thought I looked good in a bow tie now. Imagine when I'm 1 degree hotter. I know. Terranuka depends. Some people have these really abusive PhD situations, and some people are a lot more chill. I got a really great grad school. Yeah. Not saying you're looking to go for a PhD, but like the biggest piece of advice I give anyone is, lab fit, PI fit is so much more important than literally anything else. For your research, where part of the country, how much you're it does not matter. Everything is predicated on how well you fit within your lab and what your relationship with your PI is going to be. By far the most important thing. There is nothing that is nearly as important, unless it's like, I don't know, you get an MIT, then screw to go to MIT. It's just going to open up so many doors. Now, see, Alaros, the mistake you made was you didn't make them read 12th Night first. Because that, of course, you know, in that play, all the women are men and all the men are women, and no one really knows what's happening, so it's just fine, and love triangles everywhere. I think. I don't know. It's been like 10 years since it's been like 15 years since I read 12th Night, you know. Do not judge me too harshly for this. Yeah, but I mean, Alaris, I already have a master's. I don't really care about